Hi there, and welcome to another edition of the Torino Diaries. Here we are. It's halfway through the season. We are still in Champions League. We just lifted the FIFA World Club final, beating Palmeiras 3-0. As far as the squad is doing in terms of where we're heading, Z Gomez is on 23 goals at the moment. We're doing pretty okay. And our next match is going to be against Avellino. So we've set the team up, still using the same tactic, no changes, and we'll see how we do. Well, Avellino are lining up in a 4-4-2. We're still using our 4-5-1 or 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to start off defensive structured and then make changes if I need to. And once again, we're watching on key highlights. Avellino are playing a defensive 4-4-2. So I'm also playing a defensive 4-4-2. Immediately, I make a change. I'm going to go control. And I'm going to stay on feet as well. Because they're gonna be in their half, and I don't plan to stay in my half as well. So while they're being defensive, we're gonna take a few more chances. So it's now 16 minutes and nothing really much is happening. So we'll take more chances. We go attacking and structured, and this time around we'll work ball into box as well. This is to try and create more chances. Maybe we're not being patient enough in our attempt to execute chances. The first highlight is actually being shown right now. And this highlight is going to be interesting because it's them attacking us. So that's not exact. Okay, defensively, we look solid then. This highlight tells me that defensively, we're very well placed and they are pretty isolated in attack. So there's nothing else for me to worry about at the moment. Silva to Meza. Meza will try and beat players. He's good support. That's what the highlight shows me. Benazzi out to Z Gomez. A brilliant ball and Z Gomez scores. So very nice transition from defense to attack. The highlight, the transition itself was well. The first thing we saw was how well we mopped up at the back when they tried to attack us. The next thing we saw was how we moved the ball into attack from Benazzi to Z Gomez. Avellino have come off defensive. You can see that right now. They're either playing control or structured. Control or balance. Once again, the highlight of them attacking us. I never like these kind of highlights, okay? So the ball goes over the top. Once again, our defensive line is perfectly placed. That's what the highlight tells me. Matthias Pereira with the ball. We go from defense to attack very, very well. I'm like what I see at the moment. Alan to Benazzi. Benazzi out wide to Silva. Silva plays a simple pass to Meza. Meza is in the box, plays it back to Silva. You can see how the transition was good and we are holding, we score another goal. It's 2 now to the good. To make a change, we'll take Z Gomez off. He's taken a slight knock. There's no reason to, keep him on the pitch. This is a set piece, and if we concede from a set piece, I don't really care. Yeah, that's my philosophy from set pieces. If I concede from a set piece, I don't care. But if I concede from a set piece transition, which is, we're taking a set piece and then we have to come back and defend, and I concede the goal, then I'm worried. Then it's got to do with my set piece takers and how they've been set up. So that's what I'll be trying to fix. See nothing. And here we go. Second half, Benazzi with the ball again to Baselli. Once again, when it comes to highlights, I don't really care about the kickoff highlight. If they do score from a goal, then wow, that was just shows overall dominance from us. So this highlight just shows that we are very dominant because right off the kickoff, we've got an opportunity at goal. And the corner kick, we maintain possession. My corner kicks are all set up to maintain possession. They're not, the first priority is for me to keep control of the ball. Here, Angelo, at this point, what am I looking for? When Angelo is playing the ball, I'm looking to see this 1, 2, 3. And this, most importantly, Benazzi and Silva, how they come back. So I'm looking at these two guys coming back and whether this guy steps up and this guy comes in and this guy comes in. So how well are we actually marking our targets? And you can see Silva takes up position very quickly. This guy is already, Dragovic's already marked the one target that they have. In terms of this transition, we were near picture perfect. So I'm very happy with how we have transitioned back into position. And this forces them to play the ball out. So this is what that highlight just showed us. Silva with the ball. Here, this transition, Silva, I'm looking to see whether he's enough players in support. So he's got 1, 2, 3 players in support. And this is what this highlight tells me. And I'm actually paying attention when we have the ball. I'm not looking at the guy with the ball. I'm looking to see whether there are players around him that he can play the ball to. Sally to Alan out wide to Silva. This is what we call an attacking transition. So the ball was in defense, but once Alan got the ball, once Alan had the ball, Silva made his dart forward. So this is what I mean by a transition. So here Silva is on a support duty. He's only committed himself when the odds are in his favor. So you will see your support players on this side of the flank will join in the attack, and this is what you're looking at to see when they perform, whether they are in position. So you see Alan is charged into the box, Meza is inside the box, and Belotti scores the goal. Wow, I didn't even see that, but yeah, that basically shows a perfect transition. I should have taken Zigo minutes off. He scored a lot more goals. So here you can even pop up, if you have your scouts working, you can actually look at a player and go, all right, his bravery is within 9 to 12. I can take some chances with him. His off the ball is 11 is rather weak. Acceleration maybe 4. His decisions are 9 to 11. So I'm pretty confident of taking on that side of that player. So our right flank is going to have a field day with him. Michel, Belotti again, inside the box. He gets brought down. It's a penalty. So in this match, the first 5 minutes of the highlights showed that we were not creating much because we have a defensive mentality. They have a defensive mentality. Two teams playing defensively. They're both going to be playing rather conservative football. So I decided, okay, fine. I don't want to play conservative football. I think I can take Avellino and we can definitely, score a few goals if I actually increase the pressure. And so that's what we did. We went to attacking, got the 1 goal, and I decided to bring down the risk, play control. Now you can see Avellino have changed formations. They've gone into a 5-3-2 defensive, which tells me that I should be attacking their flanks right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to play slightly differently. Our shots are going to change. Now, I don't want to work ball into box anymore. But this time around, we're going to take more. We can actually do something else, like exploit the flanks, left and right flanks, to pull the central defenders out of position. They've already made one substitution, taken off. The AI is taken off, knowing that there's going to be a risk on that side of the flank. Corner, once again, if we concede, I don't really care. Alan to Matthias Pereira, but I'm more interested in how our transitions look when we are defending a corner and how well we move forward. Meza inside the box and scores from a counter attack, 4-0, perfectly placed. How did I do that? That was actually set up. So I have actually got players, when I make my set pieces, I know during a transition, when I'm defending, I need to have Meza on the left side because Meza is playing on the left. So when I set up the set pieces, Meza is actually, when in the set piece positioning, he's on the left side of my set piece. So this is what I mean. I'll show you what I mean by that. Corners. Right. So we have defend. So when I'm defending, this is where Meza is. He's actually on this side of the pitch. So I make sure who is Meza is actually, when he's positioned, he's actually on this side of the pitch, defending. So when we break, he breaks here. He breaks into that. Now, if you put Meza here, what's going to happen? He's going to have to cross back here before he breaks, or he'll be in the wrong position. So you want to make sure that your defensive transitions are set right. I'm playing a 4-5-1. I know my AMR can be the first guy out with the ball. And if he goes out, he's actually going to explore this whole area over here. So he's charging up this way. My AML is going to be charging up this way. So I've already got the right players attacking. So I've got these two guys who are going to be my main threats. And AML charging in. Just how he scored the earlier goal just now, which is sweet. When a team has got a yellow card like this, you can definitely take some chances. You can exploit this flank, which will be the right flank, and put a lot of pressure on Barbier and Vitali, because that flank now has a lot of issues. This puts a lot more pressure on that side of the pitch. Here we go, Dragovic clearing the danger, but only as far as Dianja. Low. Mora with the ball. Back to Ren zone. Here, this transition, I'm looking, when they attacked, how did my players come back to defend? I'm reasonably happy with how they have defended, but once again, the highlight is of them attacking me, not of us attacking them. Okay, so whenever an AI is attacking me, I'm looking at two things. That highlight showed that we might have a problem down the middle. Okay, so I will definitely remove this shot. Okay, and maybe go fairly narrow. Because I'm shipping some threat down the middle, so I might want to do that. I might want to look at that, but we're already 4 goals to the good, so I'm not really worried. But I would be, look, that is what that highlight just told me. So here we are, 4-0 winners against Avellino after making one slight change to our tactic, and we confidently, beat them. 10 shots on target. We had 10 shots on target, which is something else. 50% of my shots were on target. This is a pretty good performance. 10 shots on target. I love this stats. So in that system, I'm looking at key highlights. I'm looking at the transitions. I'm looking at the story behind every single highlight. And that's going to be the purpose of my few more shows. That's what I'm going to start doing. Whenever I break down any of my games, I'm looking at key highlights because I've covered the basics already. How you create a tactic with mentality, shape, roles, and duties. That's the basic stuff. The one thing that people seem to have an issue with is, how do I know when something is wrong? And in that one, I could tell. There was nothing in terms of, I know I can score goals, but we're not scoring any goals. Highlights are all showing of them attacking me and none of me attacking them. So something had to change. So we went to an attacking mentality. I took a lot of risks. We scored a goal. The moment I scored a goal, I said, okay, fine. Let's not be so crazy at the moment. Let's just drop it down a notch and go to control. And we did okay. What I typically find is that, people seem to have the problem of linking everything up. So now, okay, I've made this tactic. It's a 4-3-3. I know that Benazi is going to play a lot of Hollywood passes. So he has to have the right attributes to play those passes. And he has to have players up in front who can receive the passes and do something with it. So I'm looking at how everybody's attributes all play together. Meza is on support. I expect him to come back and join in defense. Baselli is on attack. I expect a player, Distrata, to join into to become a part of the attack when the ball is in the final third. So Baselli will always be positioned slightly higher. He will provide the support for Meza. And if the ball is in the final third, I expect him to get on the end of chances or to be creating chances in the final third. Benazi is a deep line playmaker on defense. He's going to drop deep and try and string passes together. I do expect Hollywood passes because I've got this guy attacking space on the right flank. I've got centre forward playing an attack. So he's going to be looking for those kind of balls. Now that I know how my system is going to be playing out, I also know my options as well. I know that this guy on IF on attack, we need Alan to be solid defensively. We need Michel to be solid defensively. We need these two guys to cover up for this chap. So he can afford to have low bravery. He can afford to have low teamwork. And I don't expect him to do a lot of tackling. I do expect this guy to drop back, not to tackle, but also to be body in the middle third. So these are the things I'm going to look for when I play the game. So when during transitions, I'm looking for him to drop deep, play some passes. I'm looking for him to be the link-up man with these three guys. I expect him to drop back, be an extra man. I expect this guy to do a lot of tackling and this guy to do a lot of tackling. So yellow cards might come in for this guy quite a fair bit, because you might see these two guys picking up cards. So you want solid players with good positioning, good tackling, playing those roles because this guy is not going to be doing a lot. So, yeah, you need to know your players very, very well. So here, in the case of Matthias Pereira, I know that he has the attributes to play in that position. He's got acceleration of 14, not too bad. The first choice in that position isn't exactly Matthias Pereira, it's one of my other strikers, but he has the capacity to play in that position. Meza will drop deep. He will have to be expected to support everybody else. So he has to have decent physical attributes for him to be able to come back and support play. He doesn't have very high teamwork. So I need to be aware of this as well. So he has low teamwork. So that means that he is not likely to sacrifice his own duties to support others. But because he's on a supporting duty, I am kind of influencing a little bit. I'm trying to make sure that he does come back and try and defend, but I have to expect that his other attributes don't indicate that he's going to throw in a challenge. Like his bravery is only 8, his teamwork is only 9, his positioning is only 9. So defensively, he doesn't have all the eggs in one basket. So If I wanted to be a bit more defensive, I'll probably go for this guy then to play that position, Juan Sanchez Mino, because he has the attributes. He may not be as prolific as a goal threat as the other guy, but he's more solid all-rounder. So when you create your systems, you know that the supporting duty is going to drop back. So you need to find the right player to play in that role so he does what you expect him to do. Now, if I had more attacking duties, here and here, I'd have a lot more issues. If this guy became an attacking fullback, then this flank is really under a lot of threat. Because he's going to be attacking. This guy is also going to be attacking. Alan is doing a lot of work, and Dragovic will have to be very good. So chances are he's going to come. He has to have fantastic physical. So I have to be looking at all these if I want to switch things around. So whenever you have attacking duty players, you got to be very aware of the fact that they are not going to be relied upon during defensive transitions. You need to rely on your supporting duties for defensive transitions. So whenever you're looking at transitions, this is what you look for. You're looking at whether your support players are coming back to help in defending. If they are not good enough, then it's the attributes, because it can't be the duty. The duty is already telling them to come back. And if they're not doing the job well enough, it's because they don't have the right attributes, or there could be a player beside them who's really doghouse. He's just horribly bad. So for our next match, we're playing Carpi away. And Carpi is always going to be a tough game for us. They're a good side, and I have to show them the respect that they deserve. And we've got tough games against Carpi and Napoli, who are actually a lot tougher than our last opponent, Avellino. So for this match, I have injuries to Z Gomez and I have injuries to Benassi. So we'll have to go to the ASPEN, see what he recommends. Baselli, Dragovic. He's recommended to move Dragovic up as a defender. Well, not too bad an idea, except this time I want to put Sanchez Mino ahead of Luis Meza, because this is a tougher game. I'm expecting more of a fight from them. So, and I would rather have Dragovic in the middle, and Baselli continue attacking, and Dragovic, he will play as a deep line playmaker. So that's our setup with Marlon, Bolzano. This is a bit scary. So I'll put Marlon here, Bolzano on the right. Okay, so Carpi versus Torino. Let's go. Once again, we're going to be looking at transitions. I'm paying more attention to how we handle our transitions. So that's what I'm going to be pointing out during the course of the match. And we're off highlights. Kickoff highlights, I don't bother very much. You can see now Carpi is playing defensive against us, but I'm playing away from home. Carpi has always been one of my harder teams I've had to face. They are a good side, and I have to give them the respect they deserve. So we're going to hold back and see how the highlights pan out for the first 10 minutes or so. So far, there are no highlights. So that means that neither side is doing very much in terms of shots. So we'll take our chances and we'll move to control. Instructions, stay on feet, work ball into box. We're taking a bit more risks, so we'll push our team forward a bit in an attempt to find some goals. Sanchez Mino with the corner. In the air it goes. Baselli is deep. What a pass to Marlon. Sanchez Mino in the box, shoots and scores. And we take the lead. A slight change to our mentality seems to have done the trick. And we basically worked hard for this goal. Marlon heading down to Sanchez Mino. What a layup. And confidently stroking the ball into the corner of the net from a very tight angle. So we're taking the lead. Now, what can you do once you take the lead? Now, they're still defensive for one. They haven't changed. So I'm not going to change my mentality because they haven't come out to attack yet. So Matthias Pereira with the ball plays it to Belotti. Belotti beats the man. It's inside the box. We're looking at support players in that transition. Was pretty good. Here again, I'm looking at this person, Dragovic, to drop back. Because the moment Bolzano steps up, Dragovic must cover the space. And if he's covering the space, then it's pretty good. Secondly, I'm looking at isolation. Their attack is pretty isolated. If you can see, I've got a man here for this 16. And I've got 11 tracking back in support. But Silva is ready to defend the space as well. So let's see what happens. As you can see, they've got the ball, Benali, but my team is in good shape. Bolsonaro reads the ball. His first touch isn't very good. So there is some concern for me. The highlight, every single highlight is meant to tell you a story. In that particular story, Bolzano I have to be very aware that he needs more first touch training. Molina beats Silva for pace and acceleration, and they almost score a goal. In fact, they do score a goal. Oh no. So that tells me that my left flank is a bit more. I got two problems. I got Polsano. I can't do much about Polsano. His first touch actually was the cause of that. So we know that the root cause of this goal was actually Polsano, the defender. His first touch was bad, and we couldn't do much with the ball. In the end, their right flank attacking down my left, they're a lot better on the right. So we have to take that into consideration right now. Silva with the throw to Belotti. Belotti back to Sanchez. Mino, you can see Mino has already picked up a card. That indicates to me that, yes, true, that flank is a bit of a problem at the moment. Dragovic shoots from range and Matthias Pereira gets a gives us back the lead. So here, once again, I can do certain things to give us back the advantage I want to have. I can put Dragovic back into defense and take Polsano off. However, I don't see the need just yet to do that. They are playing quite well at the moment. Carpi have always proven to be a tough side to beat, and I have to pay a lot of attention to how their central midfield is doing, like 7, 14, and 16. 7 is playing like a deep line playmaker, a defensive midfielder, and the way they string the passes behind the back line, they're playing a very good 4-1-4-1. I have to make sure that my defenders don't get caught out of position. Already, Polsano hasn't been playing very well. He's already been pulling in some bad ratings in this game, and I'm worried that this pressure down the right flank is gonna see us pick up cards on that side of the pitch. Gaston Silva, Sanchez Mino, Polsano, they're all gonna be looking at getting themselves into trouble. Here I'm actually kind of happy with the way we closed this player down, but it does mean that we have to depend a lot on our central defenders to play well. Here, once again, you can create a really solid tactic. You can look at the transition here. They moved up. My players are in the right position. So if we don't play well, it's going to be down to our players. As the ball is moved into the box, we can see it's a soft goal. Again, I know that the error came from Polsano. Gaston Silva, he didn't pull in a challenge because he was probably caught out of position. So we have these little issues that have cropped up in our back line, and I have to seriously start thinking whether or not Polsano is dependable as a central defender, because his attributes may seem to suggest he's okay, but one-to-one with some of the other players, when he's faced against them, he's shipped in, he's not playing very well, so his ratings are 6.5, a clear indication that he's not playing very well, and expecting them to drop like they've just have 6.4. Sanchez Mino, I was right, he's already picked up a yellow card, and Gaston Silva has not picked up a yellow card, so that flank, I could tell that there was pressure down that flank, and with Polsano not playing very well, we are seeing players being pulled out of position, and that is not a good sign. So we'll have to make a change in the tactic, and we'll have to call upon the services of Zoran Popa. We'll have to bring him on, take off Polsano, move Dragovic back into a central defender role by asking Zoran Popa to now play as the deep line playmaker. Well, it's not a very good performance. So we've conceded a goal softly, but it was down to something that was visible. The transitions showed us that backline looked solid, but in terms of attributes, something had to be done. So we had to make a change. So in this particular case, even though your transitions look like they're solid, player errors and attributes are causing your players to underperform. Now, the threat was down that left flank. We're playing on Sanchez Mino has a card, Gaston Silva has a card. It only means that we have to strengthen the back line and putting Polsano, then Marlon clearing the ball down. Okay, now Marlon is playing on the left side, so you might be wondering, why am I pointing my finger at Polsano? They work as a pair, so both central defenders. Now, if Polsano is not playing very well, then Marlon has to look after his side of the pitch as well. So You need players, you need both the central defenders to be having a good game. If they're not having a good game, then something is wrong. Remember as well, Marlon has got 1 assist in this game, and it could be down to more than just the transitions here. So you have to be looking at player attributes, player ratings as well. We're deep into stoppage time, and I don't expect any more opportunities to arise. Once again, I was looking at the highlights in this game. The highlights are showing that we were doing okay defensively, and in terms of attack, unfortunately, we just didn't have a very good time with our defenders. Our left flank was totally exposed. Maybe I should have put in a better player on the left, but that's having said that, how much more defensive can I go? So this is us having a bad day in the office, I guess, because we did try. I could have pushed it to attacking fluid, but I didn't. That could have increased the risk, but once again, in this game of Football Manager, the primary purpose is to win, right? But you can't lose as well. So if I go into matches when I'm an underdog or when I'm not so good a team like I am right now, even though we won the title, I don't think we're that good. I go in there to win a point first, and then if you're solid enough, we win 3. So as you can see, 2-2, not a fantastic result. We still have 2 matches on hand on Juventus, and we should be able to lift the title, I hope. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Torino Diaries. I'm now going to focus more on these kind of things in the shows that are coming up. And if you have any questions, you know where you can find me. You can always drop me a note at addicted2fm.com or find me on Twitter at Busternet. For now, I've got to go. You take care. Bye-bye.